Welcome y'all to City of New Fairview's City Council meeting for February the 15th, 2022 special meeting. We're going to start the work session now. And we'll have roll call. John Taylor.
Stephen King.
Julie Breyer.
Scott Johnson. Steve Meisner.
All right, we're on here. So, and also if anybody wanted to speak tonight, please get your forms filled out and up here, please, or to Brooke or somebody. So if you have anything you want to say.
Can you see from back there, people online? Okay.
So
Somebody else.
the first thing on the work session is to discuss plans on hiring a city administrator, our time schedule, our qualifications, and our process. Kind of all up together, but I can tell you, I had some ideas from looking at other things, and well, I like to just go around and have everybody throw out their ideas, but I'll go first. My idea was to, of course, post it. I don't know where to post it. I guess all everywhere, but we'll figure out where we need to post it.
TM.
Yeah, and get some applications. We'd go through them as a group, narrow it down to 2 or 3, no more than 3, in my opinion. And then I would like to have I don't know what you call it, a hometown meeting first before we interview them. I'd like to have a hometown meeting and have the public come and interview the final 3 before we do. Okay. That was just my thought. I think the citizens have just as much to get to know them before as we do.
That's not a bad idea. I wouldn't even thought that.
I didn't like.
That's very good if we can do it in a timely manner.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, and it'd have to be like, let them have 10 or 15 minutes a piece to talk about themselves, and then, limit the questions to 3 minutes.
We couldn't be here.
No. But in a town hall meeting, we could schedule it and we call it a meeting and we could all be here.
Yeah.
We can do that.
If you advertise it, yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought. I would like to, honestly, I did not like being, as a citizen, the last time felt I was left out in the process.
No, I thought that's a good point. So do we want to, and again, do we want to run this search ourselves, or do we want to pay somebody to get us qualified applicants? Go ahead.
You know how I feel about spending money, citizens' money. I would like to see if we can do it ourselves. We can post it, we can get word out there. There's plenty of websites that, we can even throw it out there and see what happens.
Okay, Brooke,
Before we spend money.
can you access TML, these sites where jobs are posted? And
Yes.
you can post for
Yes,
a city attorney?
a city attorney or city administrator?
City
Administrator.
That was quick.
Once you get to upset the man, but you're apparently gone.
We love you, Robin.
And if I can't, I have resources and people there that can get it. for me.
Okay,
So let's do it the freeway.
So this is not an action item.
I don't think we need to hire
But you can
someone
give
to help us
direction to
find it.
staff.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I personally think our little city is,
You think we could give direction, do it?
yeah.
Well, we're still talking here, Steve. You don't just run off with the horse, okay?
I think our city is I think we'll have people that want to come here because they want to build something.
I agree.
We already know.
Yes, yeah, and
Yeah.
last time, the past, but that's why they came. They was why we had the crew we had last time come and apply, because they wanted to build something. They want to start with nothing and finish something and have their name on it. So I don't think we need to hire somebody to find us somebody.
I agree. And then if I can make a suggestion about that too, if we're doing a contract, can we, going forward, make sure all contracts are here? And
Well,
not
we're
get
in
into
control
this.
of the contract.
That's what I'm saying. I would like to stay away from this 5-year stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
That's unheard of, so
Yes.
yeah, let's don't go down that road again.
And this is just John Taylor's opinion, but just the 1 year, I like a 2-year contract with a option both ways
After a year.
Because a 1-year contract, a 2-year contract in any kind of sports or any business, a 2-year contract is really a 1-year contract.
That's reasonable.
I think we I think it needs to be a very low walkaway both ways,
Okay,
but
I agree with that.
because I don't think anybody would want to quit their job and run here
For 1 year.
and no guarantee. So at least they'd have a year and a little something if they was to go.
So I agree with you, John. We are literally the place that everybody's eyeballing. We have great assets for the fact that this is where it's all coming. So, as somebody put it, we're the pretty lady at the dance and we get to dance with whoever we want to. So I agree with that.
Ms. Cross, do you see that as a roadblock, having just a 2-year contract with a review after one?
I think your candidate pool will tell you better than I would.
Yeah.
I think you can certainly put out there, and if you don't get sufficient interest, you can change it up. And of course, you may have applicants that they might be interested, but they might want to negotiate different terms, and you can make that decision. Or as my family says, you can jump off that bridge when you get there.
Well, I say we don't make the same mistake as, not me, I didn't like that previous contract.
Steve, we're all part of this council.
There was cell phone, there was cell
Let's start
phones,
being part of this council.
everything else.
All right? We're all part of the council. Let's start being part of the
I'm
council.
giving you my opinion,
I'm
Scott,
saying-
I got a right to my opinion.
All right.
Golly.
So,
Hey,
so
Steve.
what you could do too is you may want to put it out there you can put it out for 1 year with a option
Extension.
to renew.
Yeah.
With a severance pay, or you can put it out there as a 2-year, with a termination after X amount of time that can be renewed. It depends.
Do we
on
have to put
asking.
out contract at all? Why don't we just see who?
You don't have to put it out as a contract at all.
I
You
just-
can just put it out
We do what
as.
she said and interview them and see what they're looking for. 'Cause
And that gives you a better idea of whether or not what somebody wants in order to invest in your community.
I like that better.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah,
work?
so professional input has stated that our 5-year contract was extreme, and they don't think they could ever see that. 2-year, what you just stated, John, from their professional opinion was the standard. 1 year with an option for 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about in the city, but that in the rest of the world, that's pretty much in business and sports. And
That's
stuff.
what was expressed to me.
Yes.
The 5-year contract was just, he thought that was just a sweet deal and didn't know how that happened, so.
Well, Stephen, how do you feel about advertising it on the TV?
Everything I've heard, I like.
John?
Yeah, I don't want to spend money.
Let's go the freeway.
Yeah.
Is that okay now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
And then
Gotcha.
I also
Okay.
feel like maybe we can do this as soon as possible.
yes.
Oh, yes, I would.
Let's put a fire behind it.
So
So
Accept
can we get this?
applications. accept applications through,
Okay.
We can have resumes sent to, I mean, all of our addresses are on the website, so anybody can access it, right? So you can put in the posting that they can forward their resume to all city
I can just
addresses.
have them forward it to council if y'all want, that goes
Perfect.
to all of y'all.
I like
Council
it.
at newfairview.org.
Let's just be careful and not reply to anything.
No, it's just to review the resumes, and then we can talk about it when we're together.
and for how long do we want to accept them?
2 weeks?
I think so.
Okay, first we gotta write up we call it an ad. You gotta write something up.
So today is the 15th. If we can get something posted by the 22nd,
Can you just want me to use the
do that
previous
for-
job
Sure, I can do
description?
that. I mean, it's pretty
No,
standard.
that's fine.
The other thing that you could do as opposed to there are different applications, so some will post an absolute deadline that they won't accept any more applications after this date. Some will say, well, the first review will be, and they'll provide a review date, but they won't refuse additional applications. That gives you might want to do that because it may give you more flexibility. That's really your
Let's
call.
do
okay, that
that.
sounds good. A review
I
date.
think we're gonna get a lot of interest,
Mhm.
if we give a brief description that says we're a growing city, which we sure as heck are, north of the DFW Metroplex, blah, blah, blah.
Brooke made a comment. Do you have the old ad?
I don't, but I'm sure I can find it. I can dig around and see, because I don't have the job description or anything like that.
But
Yeah, I-
let's be sure that we're not posting a contract. that
Yeah,
says,
oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
Right, it's just an advertisement.
Yeah,
to-
it says we're gonna
to
pay
recruit.
for your kids to go to college.
We're gonna pay for your Mercedes Benz. No, that ain't happening.
Okay.
So what did you say on the 22nd? What were you talking about?
Hope to have everything posted everywhere we could by the 26th.
What's
Today's the 15th. That gives us, that's 4 business days. To get us
That's true, the 21st of all.
to
Get
get us,
it posted,
to get it
and
posted.
take applications for how long?
Do you want to do 2 weeks or
Two
10
weeks.
days or?
Anybody that's interested is
Yeah.
gonna apply right away. Yeah.
I think, Robin, what you said was, let's put a deadline on it, but let's say that's not the absolute close date and see what we get.
So we can get
Let's put
the,
how about a review date of the 16th? That way we have them in time to review them at the 21st
Wait a minute, the 16th
of March.
March.
That way, that way we could review them on the 21st
Okay.
So it's,
meeting. That's kind of close.
but that'll give us time to put it on the agenda.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
get them here to the meeting and then, yeah.
Okay, so the 16th.
well, 16, I don't think we'd have them here
That's almost a full month.
Yeah.
I just,
I think
personally, I'd say by the close of the 14th, close of business on the 14th, which is a Monday, a week ahead of
Yeah,
the city council meeting.
then we,
That gives us all time to look at them, and then we can post whatever we need to on the agenda.
we'll just review them on the 21st, go through them, sort them out, narrow them down.
Do you feel like that's as fast as we can do it?
That really is more, that's really more
Yeah,
of
that's
your
not
time
right.
limitations.
So-
Well, no, I mean, I don't know that that is unfeasible, or if you think you can move faster. City administrators move from city to city, and
They
part
do,
of the reason
they do.
for my suggesting
Yeah.
that you keep that you may want to have a review date is somebody will suddenly find themselves unemployed from their prior, and they'll be looking. And that doesn't mean that they're suddenly unemployed, that they're a bad administrator. It just means that there wasn't a good mesh
Of course,
with,
yeah.
right.
Wonderful.
So-
Personnel.
And
Right, it wasn't a good fit. It
And
wasn't a good fit for the
if
community.
you
or
look
the
at school
elected.
superintendents, the same thing applies to them.
Yeah.
Sure.
They move around quick.
Absolutely. I
So-
heard one this morning that was,
Yeah, I saw
right.
So who should we put in charge of writing this? We gotta come up with some statement. Brooke, were you gonna come up with the old?
I'm gonna
Yes, sir.
for it, yes.
All right.
The old
I can-
post
I
And you're
can
gonna
is-
send it to us?
Okay.
Yes.
She said she'll work with Brooke on it.
I can work with Brooke. I can get something
If
from
you would,
TML pretty quickly.
Please,
Sure.
John, if that's okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
John, James?
So my name is James Clark, live at 310 Pinecrest Drive in Justin, Texas. We actually let our city administrator go as well, a year ago. And all this stuff you're talking about is great. We'll tell you that we opened up to both an interim, to get resumes for somebody coming interim, because you don't know how long it's gonna take you. It took us 2 months of looking at resumes. We had a 5-year contract that was known about, but we had, because that's kind of standard in the state of Texas, and that's what they kind of look for. But we had one review every year, we have the option of going without losing $250,000. You know, so there are things you can do, but I can tell you, we took resumes from interim as an option. There's 2 companies in Texas that do that. You can get to them through TML, and we took resumes direct. We got 12 resumes in 2 months. And then we met as a council for 2 days and interviewed the ones we got down to the final 5. We interviewed those people in person, and then we made an offer, and then that was still another month. And one of the things we require is that the city administrator / manager had to live in the city limits or city.
I thought
And
that
be part of it. So I'm just wondering, it's not a 2-week thing. We had a lot to offer, and it still took us several months.
It's a long process to what he's saying.
I
There
just want
are,
that.
and instead of taking resumes, you can call, and contract with, and have them send you some resumes of people they already have, shall we say, in the stable or on, ready to work for an interim, if you choose to do that. There are a couple outfits that do that. They have interim HR managers, city administrators.
But if we
city
find somebody,
attorneys.
if we get enough
Sure.
resumes and we find somebody, we may not have to go that route. We may.
Yes, that's your call. I don't know how long you want to float with that.
So we don't have to
city
drag this
administrator.
out for months.
Sure, but you don't have to drag it out for months. It's, this is a quick turnaround. If you don't think that you're getting enough applicants, you may want to wait, and at that point.
Also gotta remember
Getting
that this is a
interim.
personality interview also too,
Sure.
what's a fit with us? So we don't wanna go and get married in the first 2 weeks. I
Well,
mean, we do want to strike this out, some. I know STR will hand us their stable of interim administrators, they'll hand us a list tomorrow if we call and ask. It doesn't cost anything to get the list, but what you end up doing is you pay contract through STR to hire that person, which means you're basically paying a double salary.
But it gives you resumes to look at, so you know what you're looking for the person you're hiring. You don't have to hire those guys, but it gives you resumes.
Right, and they do that for free. But the point is that if you want to hire one of them, you're gonna have to do it through STR.
Correct.
And then you pay them contract.
How long,
Month,
how long is your, city manager, how long is their contract?
5 years.
I talked to Mayor Woodall, she told me it's 1 year.
No, we review after a year, but they mandated he had to move to town, and we review after the year, but it's a 5 year.
So
Every year we
after,
extended it.
after the 1 year, if, what happens if, it doesn't meet the review?
That's it, we're letting go.
You don't have to pay your salary, man.
And I don't think after the first year that's the case.
We don't want to do that.
You can look at our contract, it's the Freedom of Information Act, you can get a copy of it.
I can get you some contracts to look at, for
Yeah,
you to
if you
look at,
don't
and
mind,
decide what
please.
you like and don't like.
I like what you said, John, about the contract, but. So, yeah, we could get an interim city manager in here at the end of this week, if we really thought so, but you're gonna have to pay money to
I
do
didn't
it.
pay double.
At the moment, I'm not
interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give up.
Looking at the, amount of money when we're talking about the city secretary going through SGR, I'm not willing to, go that route.
So I can tell you, it's $75 an hour.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
To pay contract to STR for that person to work. If you want to hire them to do the search, it's $26,000.
No.
That's why we're not
This
interested
council
in the
discussed
secretary.
that. We don't-
There are some benefits. I mean, there's some negatives, there's some benefits. If there's people you want gone, it's better for the interim person to come in and help establish and clean house. So when the city manager and administrator gets in here, they're starting fresh. Just, there are some benefits.
An interim city manager got this city in the position they were in.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be, we don't want somebody that's gonna recommend, we need to pick the
Right.
person, not.
We're not gonna have an admin running our city anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, city council needs to run the city, not the admin.
So qualifications, do we have any thoughts, ideas? Anything we definitely want, definitely,
You know, I wish I brought some of the previous, when I was on here, we hired the last city administrator.
That's why we're not gonna listen to you. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke.
No, I'm okay with that. I take jokes, I got no problem. So anyway, so.
I think, on our work scope of our city administrator, it lists out the qualifications and requirements on that, in our,
In our ad,
no, in our, we have an ordinance for the city administrator, what is,
We do.
yeah, and in there it tells what his work scope is, what his qualifications should be.
oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we could use that as a guide. We don't have to
Great
put
idea.
list everything, but just, pick
Go
in there.
review it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I saw that very recently.
Brooke, is that something you could look up and email all of us?
What was that?
The ordinance for city administrator?
Yeah.
Thank you. I know, I don't feel like I'm stacking everything on you, but
So where are we, Mr.?
we're still in two. We're all over ABC together, but,
Okay.
So we're gonna attempt to set a schedule, but we're not
Yes.
putting it in stone at the moment.
yes, so if we had a soft closing date for,
Bless you.
let's say the 14th, that's a holiday also, so Veterans Day, but So say a soft,
March the 14th?
February. Oh, we're gonna go.
Past that.
Never mind.
Sorry.
We're past
That's
that.
Valentine's Day.
Yes, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
So the 14th of March.
March 14th. We'll
We'll
start
review
out.
at the 21st.
Yeah, for first round.
That sounds good.
So it closes March 14th, right?
The first round would close on the 14th. That way we could review them on the 21st. If we have, if we have what we would like to
I
present,
suspect we're gonna do.
Yeah.
if we have what we would like to, then we would try to have a special town hall meeting the last week of March, first week of April for the citizens to meet them.
So, yeah, the 28th, sometime in that week.
Like I said, I mean, we don't have to do that. I just felt
I think that's wise.
Yeah.
that I would like the citizens to meet our final two
And
or three.
it's being
So,
yes.
transparent.
Assuming we get 10, how many are we, the council, gonna?
I think you want to narrow it down to less than 5 for sure.
Okay, that's, because we,
In my mind, I had
we
three.
want 3, 4, 5,
Yes,
for the citizens.
I'd say 4, but definitely less than 5.
Yes.
But I would think
Okay,
you,
4 sounds good.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, okay. Because, if we have 10, that's too many.
yeah.
That's too much to absorb.
So I try to have a town hall the last week of March town hall.
Question for you. Do you pay mileage for them to come or
We,
I don't know
don't
what
think
you
so.
normally do?
I
Okay.
agree, I don't think
I
so.
don't think
You
so.
want the job?
yeah.
show up.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no more paying for car, phone, gas, all these,
Well,
Okay.
it's a lot.
I think you'll get,
I
I
think you
don't,
have
I
to
don't think
pay.
you'll get, I don't think you'll get out of the phone.
No, I don't think you really did. And there are some type of, supplement.
Yeah.
But, not to the extent we have seen. Right.
Well, that went very smoothly.
Anything else on that?
I'm looking forward to it. I think we got a good plan. Sounds very positive.
And then after we have the town hall, then we'll decide who we want to bring in to
We could do that.
We might even could be.
Do it at the
executive session.
after the town hall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you want to interview them and,
But I wanted the citizens to do it before we.
no, I think that's a great idea, John. I like that.
So just for planning purposes, if we're gonna have a town hall on, what'd you say, 28th?
Sometime,
That week.
sometime
Yeah.
that week, yes,
And that's gonna be a posted meeting?
yes.
Yes.
Then we can have that at 6 and we can do it at 7.
Or immediate
Yeah.
following, but yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
To speed the process.
That way, everyone's here that night as far as applicants
yes,
that we want.
that's true. Okay.
So we get input from the public.
We can also listen to how they respond to the public, and that's kind of help us determine how we like the,
All right, no, and so then we have a regular meeting after that.
Executive session.
well,
The regular meeting with executive session.
Session to interview.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
I just, word of caution here, I don't want us to move too fast. This may take us longer than we think, because I don't want to jump in bed with the first.
Well, let's see how it all
Well,
unfolds.
let's look at it from a positive.
Yes, thank you.
I think this is
I think we'll do good.
very timely.
Yeah, let's see how it works out.
Okay, we through with that?
Yep.
Next work session is discuss plans for a possible temporary part-time employee to cover city hall. In case for, like, Brooke's here by herself, if something happens, then we have to close City Hall.
And I think that's a good idea. I'd also like to add something to this too. I think that she might, if we do want to hire somebody part-time, would be fine, but we definitely need to get her some help that go through years of back files that have been sitting in bins all over this building and the one next door. So if they can have a focus, and of course, filling in for when she can't be here would be part of it. But if they can help get all that under control, scan stuff.
Yeah.
Scan stuff for her so she can get it where it needs to be on the computer instead of just boxes of papers everywhere. So can we hire somebody to do all that and they can be here when she can't?
So here's a
So that's-
question that goes to that, going through files. Is there a time limit as there is with, the individual's IRS records where there's stuff we can throw away after a certain time period?
The state law has a records retention provision, and most cities have adopted a records retention policy. If you haven't adopted a records retention policy, we certainly can, and I'd have to look at the state provisions, but there are specific provisions for open records, Public Information Act, that you have to retain certain records, or certain statutes say you must retain. And then in addition to the state law retention periods. For example, the length of a contract for statute of limitations is 4 years. You want to make sure that you keep your contracts past the expiration for at least 4 years. Employee email might be 2 years that you would keep employee emails. There are some statutory provisions that specifically apply in our case, and I can talk about those with you later. But does that give you a general idea?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Ordinance, I understand that certain records for cities stay forever, minutes, always keep the minutes, ordinances.
So whoever we hire needs to be cognizant of these
Well, I think you're.
and able to go through that.
I think that your acting city secretary would have some familiarity, if she does bring her up to speed, and then she can, because what you're asking for somebody to do is to be in the office when she can't and to help her scan things. And she would be the determiner of what gets scanned and what gets thrown away.
Does that person need to sign like a NDA? So I was told she had somebody who was gonna volunteer to come up and help her. But I was told by somebody that they have to sign something drawn up by an attorney.
Well, but a couple of things there. There are, one, whether or not somebody's doing volunteer work is a whole different ball of wax from whether it's volunteer, whether it's something that's paid. But whether or not somebody signs a non-disclosure agreement, minutes are public records. A lot of documents will probably be public records.
So they don't need to, they
I
don't need to sign.
I don't know
something
that you
from
need
saying that they can be here.
non-disclosure agreement, and
Well, that's-
kind of depends on who it is you
It's
look
not
at.
like that volunteer.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
So
talking
if
about
they're hired.
actually if you hire somebody part-time, you can ask that they sign a non-disclosure agreement. I typically don't see non-disclosure agreements in municipal practice.
So we don't have to worry about that.
That's the question. Did we have to? And you
Because
say
we were
no.
told that they couldn't come up here if they didn't sign something, but that's not true.
No,
So
no.
if we had a
But
volunteer,
if they were volunteering, would they have to?
I don't think that changes if somebody's volunteer or whether they're paid. The question comes up if somebody
What if they
is volunteer, as opposed
I
to
guess we need to talk about
working.
this particular volunteer in.
Well, she was volunteering to see if she would donate some time to the city to see if she was a good fit, and then she would want to be hired at least, part-time. or
Well, I
full-time.
know that, but the second issue, and we all know what that is, we need to discuss that.
I didn't know if you wanted to do that in open.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't suggest it.
No.
but We can wait and talk about that later.
Well,
Personnel issues.
getting back to the discussion of hiring a temporary part-time employee. Brooke has expressed that, she feels like would rather not have a part-time employee in there. So if the council feels like she does need to have someone in there, then she should be directly involved in the process of choosing who that is. And we just don't pick someone and throw her in the office, so.
And my only concern was with her classes, when she has to leave to go to class. That was my concern, because the city does not need to prevent her from going to further education, just so she can keep.
And that's what happened to, our previous city secretary, is she was here for 19 and a half years, and, she was prevented from going to training classes.
And I don't.
Because, Scott, don't you know that?
I don't know that I do or don't.
Well, I do. I had conversations with both parties that were involved in it, and they admit, yes, because they didn't want to let that person
Have the door closed.
That's right.
Well,
No, I can't say either way, but I know the offer was made and it was for a long time not accepted, so.
Yes.
So I'm just, if you need somebody to fill a gap because you have flex time for your employee, and you want that employee to be involved in the selection process of somebody that would come and do that, because they have to work together. And it's a very small office, and that would make sense.
Then do we need to wait to get that person until we have an admin, because it's gonna be his office to run?
Well, that's always which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I'm gonna have a new city manager, so do we hire the police chief now? Or let the new city manager hire the police chief or the fire chief? And that's, different people decide differently. That's, again, a policy determination, and I've seen it turn out well both ways.
So is there training scheduled?
Yes,
She does have.
How soon?
March.
March what?
I believe it's the second week of March. I'll have to double check on my
And
calendar.
how many days are we talking about?
And that one is 3 days in Dallas.
It's March 8th, 9th, and 10th.
I don't think we close City Hall.
Well, I agree, that's.
Then we've got April 7th and 8th, June 16th, 17th, so there's a
I
process.
don't-
Yeah.
If our current city employee, is gonna work with this, at first temporary, then yes, she should talk to them and make sure that they're, on the same page. But I think we need to get somebody in here quick.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
Yes, agreed. But
Then you can hire a temp service. I mean,
But where we looked at that and they were talking about charging us $70 an hour.
Well,
to-
not
to-
for filing?
not for something like this, you're probably looking at
You can go
about.
down to
It's
NTS.
Pronto Indicator.
Yeah,
That's
I'm sorry?
where I came on through Pronto.
Yeah.
Pronto staffing.
Oh, I
Indicator.
see them.
It's just a staffing organization.
That's gonna cost you about 25.
Yeah.
20 to 25, because they're gonna keep 30%.
Actually, they keep 50%.
Okay, so we need to write up, well,
should, Brooke take the lead on this?
that's fine. But, I mean, yeah, she knows what needs to be done.
Don't know.
She knows what needs to be done. I'm sorry.
Right, we need to figure out how much we want to pay this person.
Maybe we can.
Absolutely, and
See
make
how
sure
much-
that person can fill in while she's gone.
But once she's gone, I wouldn't think you need to do much more than just answer the phone
Right.
and keep the door open.
Yeah. Keep some
And
notes.
I'm available remotely while I'm in training. I have my
Well,
laptop. I have my phone.
and you're right, that's probably mostly is answering the phone, but if somebody comes in, wants a building permit or
Well, no,
But this person wouldn't be able to do any of that.
one.
why get you hand the form, I guess, the permit. Or take it, and file it.
But I want this person to be able to go through the mountains of paperwork and get this office organized.
What do you think about that, Brooke?
because Brooke and I looked at bins, we've looked at, safes.
Stacks and
that's full of-
stacks, yeah.
I don't want our new city admin coming into a mess. We need to have a plan that somebody's.
It is a mess.
I agree. Right now, though, Brooke she's everything in the office.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This person can
But
start.
she's gonna that's gonna take her away to get someone else to kind of oversee them. Now, maybe it is easy for the right person to be
Yeah.
self-motivated and continue on. But, I don't want to add to her workload.
No,
That's what you're doing.
Go ahead.
I did want to say, we're meeting Wednesday with Civic Gov, which is going to be, it's our online platform, which will take permits away from coming in, being more paper added to what we already have here. It's going to be an all digital platform. We are meeting with them tomorrow at 9:00 in the morning to find out exactly when that will be rolling out. I believe we're at the end and that's all set up. As soon as we stop getting paper brought in for permits, that will free up my time and I can go through and get the retention schedule and go through those papers. The papers that are in the bins that are in here, those are organized and those are ready to be scanned. I just not had the time to do that.
So
Somebody and
She's already done
we
that
could do
process.
the bins and it will open. I would get more time once it goes active online for the permit side of things to go electronic to free me up to do all the stacks that you see in there that are not organized.
And finally, that's kind of we've been working on that.
Well,
Not
yes.
for a year.
Online,
Yes.
online is wonderful, but there are people out there, and I know because my parents and my wife's parents didn't even own a computer. And if they wanted a building permit, they'd have to come in here and get one.
Well, that's true. But that's
My dad-
2%, 1% of all of them, so.
But
Yeah,
And this person would technically be part-time.
correct.
And again, you don't hire him through Pronto or NTS or any of those technical services.
Okay.
I like that.
so yeah, write up what you need help with.
Yes, sir.
Actually, can't you just contact them and say, hey, here's kind of what I need?
Yes.
That's normally how it works, and then they'll quote you some hourly rates, and then they may set up some interview processes. That's for most, temp agencies I'm familiar with.
Apparently that Pronto, they hire everything from.
So why don't you just go ahead and do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Do you want me to compare prices? I was brought on through Pronto. That's how I started with the city. Do you want me to contact them or contact other agencies to see if the
Let's
price is
just
the
start
same?
there. Let's start
Okay.
there.
It's actually better to have somebody
Local.
local.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's close to work, they're gonna be much more, apt to come to work with us.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
So as close as possible.
Okay.
Having been through the contract business and the temporary business for a number of years in the engineering side, you're gonna pay double whatever they're getting. So the contract house makes one salary and the person you hire makes the other salary. So just be aware of that, that whatever you're paying the contract shop, your employee's only getting half. And so that's the quality of person you're gonna get.
She has classes already scheduled. We need to get
Oh,
somebody in
yeah.
there fast. And then if we need to look at this down the road, we can always do that. But
Yeah.
let's get the problem solved immediately so that you don't have to worry about your classes.
Right.
So let's do it as fast as possible. I mean, we can take time and, if it's gonna be a temporary fit, then after we kind of get things settled down a little bit, the admin's here, let the dust settle, then we can look at hiring
So
somebody.
with temporary, you can switch out every week. I mean, if you don't like the person they send to you, you call them up and go, hey, this ain't working.
But that will solve, take the weight off you and solve your problems.
Have
right now.
somebody in the office.
I've done
Exactly.
contract work a lot in the past, and it's a good way for the employer to meet new potential employees. And
Yes.
you can say, we want you to come on and work just for us, and they're probably ecstatic with that.
It's a
They get benefits then.
And I
Yeah,
also
it's a
like
good
the
way.
fact that you'll be in on that decision-making because
Yes.
ultimately it has to work for you.
So, yeah, it makes a legal honeymoon that you're not responsible if they don't work out. So, no, it's a good way to go. I just, with
Sure.
understanding all the details when we go in.
Oh, yes.
Then she doesn't have to worry about it, stress going into her classes. This is
Oh,
just
I
one
know.
more thing done.
Yeah,
Very good.
I like that idea of getting somebody fast.
Yeah.
Just for this, then we can worry about it.
Now, some of the temp agencies will have a finder's fee, if you will, that some will let you use that part-time employee for a certain amount of time, and after that, you can hire them, no penalty. Some will charge a percentage and, and it's a sliding scale percentage on how soon you hire them,
So,
but you never get past having to pay that.
And I have a warehouse parked through
Sure.
Pronto right now at work, so I wanted to hire him in December, and it was gonna cost me $9,000.
Oh,
$9,000, doesn't have to pay them, but March 1st, it cost me $800. So he is gonna stay with Pronto till $800, till March 1st.
Life sucks.
Yeah.
We walk on.
Okay,
So do you
so,
feel comfortable with that, Brooke?
I do, and I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Can we make on there for a bilingual, somebody that's bilingual that we would prefer, because we do have citizens that come in here that try to speak with their children trying to communicate.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Bilingual, and it's-
oh,
yes,
no.
yeah, I agree. You can put that on the list of,
Okay.
we would want,
Thank you.
but not necessarily have to have, but we'd like to have.
Thank you for all your input with that. Hopefully this will help you.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to floor, discuss. Everybody satisfied?
Oh, I thought you said, what? You
Oh,
guys going
oh, I thought he had to add some more to add.
Didn't you hear me?
That's what I thought.
I go, whoa, why?
Okay, four, discuss a plan, to create a list, because I just keep, and everybody keeps finding things. I'll read it. Discuss a plan to create a list of things needing to be addressed by the departure of the former city administrator, Ben, and Mayor, Nolan, like social media, et cetera. You already have a list. Good, because I said, every time I go around, their name is there, and they're,
Is that something that you can fix, like on the website and?
Yes,
You have
yes.
control to, you have the
Yes.
power to.
So
We just-
I got a question about that Julie and I talked about. These cameras, they go somewhere, right?
Yes,
Where do they go?
they go to the server and then the.
Can they go to an individual like a sheriff's deputy?
No, sir.
They can't
How do we make that happen?
Change the camera system.
All right,
change the
we
whole
need that on
system?
the agenda.
Well, now, I'm not saying we should, but I'm saying it doesn't cost much to do because, as everybody knows, I'm building a new house and I already put in my security system. It consists of 6 cameras and it was only $290 when it goes to my phone or wherever I
To
want.
get one that does both, has both are controlled and secure DVR and also allows the application to be monitored remotely. With this amount of cameras, it's roughly around $600-700. And then from I installed it.
They don't necessarily need the interior cameras going to their phone, but definitely the exterior.
Well, it gives me the ability to say you can have access to this camera and not all.
This is 24-hour monitoring of the facilities. I thought there was a need in the, okay, good.
so.
Now, there's privacy concerns with having access.
I'm
to
talking
it.
about
Yeah,
seeing the
exterior is
doors
fine, yeah.
outside of
Right.
the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So-
the interior, exterior.
Josh, can you put that together for us?
Yes, sir.
Get what it would take to be able to have remote access.
My pleasure.
The package I bought, which consists of 6 cameras and the server and the remote, send it wherever you want it to multiple people, was only $290 at Costco.
Okay.
I was actually going to Costco, so.
I
So-
want to, go ahead.
Oh, but you have a list of things that their names need to be removed from.
Well, no, this is actually a list of the things that were being addressed and the
Okay.
stuff that we need to focus at some
Okay,
point.
because that's what I was trying to make sure we got their names taken off.
Removed, okay, I'm sorry, that's not
Okay.
fully where I was at.
But that's on the.
That's on the
action.
Yeah, but I was just kind of jot down some things that we needed.
So,
Yes.
you know,
Is it okay to make sure that for the exterior cameras that our resident deputy
What's on your
charge
list?
checks?
Of things that we're gonna, that Ben was
We'll address that once he gets us the deal.
I don't know. Except for the cameras, that's all I knew.
So, but right now you were talking about where we need to get the names changed.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were talking about everything that was being,
No.
Brooke will do that though.
Yeah.
okay.
You can clean up our website and all that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I don't think they're on social media on our Facebook. I think that's just City of New Fairview. And when he would post, he posted it.
And who has access to
Facebook,
post on our city
I do.
Facebook? You alone, nobody else?
yes, passwords have been updated.
I'm sorry?
The passwords have been updated?
Okay.
She has control of all the passwords and stuff,
Okay.
so.
Well, before, somebody else had access to it
Yes.
besides the admin, but you took that away.
Yes, that was last week, and we removed that.
So,
I think that's better just to have you in control of that instead of this person, because we need to.
Yeah.
Bring that in.
When you can find access.
yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we'll
We just
move on.
have one go-to if something happens. We know who to call.
So next is discuss a plan reviewing, starting the interview process for city secretary, timetable scheduling, and final candidate reviews.
So did we see a presentation on that, the last?
Yes, and
Well,
I thought I had it on the agenda for us to, and so I do have, we're gonna look at these in workshop.
yeah, can we do some of this has to be done in executive. session.
Well, we're gonna, I have every application with a number on it. We're gonna discuss numbers, no names.
We had 8, right?
We have, I think that's right.
I mean, that's with the president.
Yes, 8.
Okay.
So, and we're only gonna discuss the numbers, but, so I'd like to pass these out if that's all right. Everybody look at them and come up with a couple of numbers, if you'll give me numbers.
But we're not gonna mention names.
No names, because I couldn't take them off because it wouldn't matter if I took them off or not. So, like I said,
Yeah.
that one come off. That one goes.
That one goes with you,
Yes.
Steve.
This has all
It goes with that.
Okay.
their qualifications.
Oh, I see the numbers up on the.
Top right hand corner, so we're gonna only discuss numbers. Candidate 1 through 8.
And it has their salary request too.
I have that here. I didn't want to put that on there, but I do have it. If you want, when you get ready to ask me, I'll give you rough numbers, or I give you that number.
All
I can tell you, just looking at these, 2, 3, 4, and 8 probably will not even work.
Because of the numbers?
2 of them because of the number.
So wait,
I got number 8, so I can tell you why that one. It's,
Yes. Yeah, number 8 because of,
yeah.
of
Yeah.
things. Number 3, they work at Ulta and JCPenney. Is there a qualification?
Really?
wait, that's number 3?
Yes,
Ulta Beauty
yes.
and JCPenney Salon.
Number 4, requested salary was 95.
What is TRMC? Texas?
That's their that means
That's their
they're certified.
certificate.
They
Yeah,
have
that is
their
certified.
city secretary certifications.
Okay.
This clerk certification program has 3 different levels, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And it's a big deal. It's,
Right.
right, it's huge.
So if they got that certification.
That is a good thing. They have been
I would love
trained.
to
I
have
don't
it,
know
but
that
I
they're a
don't
good
think
fit.
we can pay 95.
But it's a question whether or not it's money.
Yes, yes.
So what was
And
number
you
4?
can have somebody that you're training or that's in process
Yes.
that's not fully trained, and that might be less expensive.
Number 2 was 70. That's why I read it out 2.
So what was number 1?
I
I have number 1.
oh, okay, that was the 4 I weeded out automatically, the 2, 4, 3, and 8.
2 was 7.
5.
So,
Which one did this go with?
so I have number 8 and I agree that we shouldn't consider this person, so let's pass that back.
Yes.
John.
Well, can we just? All right. That works.
That's a no.
8's an 8.
Here's now.
Number 4 was 2 pages, wasn't it? I'll make sure I get the
Yes.
next page.
Okay,
Yes, got
Okay.
that.
This person can tap 45 words a minute. You know, I actually took tapping one time in basketball.
Yeah.
My mother taught me. Oh, yeah, she was And back before electric cap rate.
Yeah. She was administrative secretary, vice president of AT&T here, full board.
Those typists, that was, yeah,
That was good.
Number three.
Did you tell me what the salary request was for one, if you did?
For one, 62 to 65.
Oh, wow, that's, very reasonable.
So we got narrowed down to four. but-
Yes. 1, 5, 6, and 7.
John,
Yes.
for those within driving distance,
Uh,
you home?
Mine is, number one is.
one,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
five is.
1, 5, 1, 5, 6, and 7. 6 is a push. Really, 1, 5, and 7 is on. Well,
No, somebody might, right now.
Okay. I just want to make sure the conversation's not being
Yeah.
broadcast or whatever. We like making a decision here?
No, I'm just trying to get,
We have.
we're gonna narrow it down from the 8.
Who we want to talk to?
Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, I was feeling a little pressure here. I didn't know everything about all
No,
of this. Oh, my goodness.
No, I'll trade with you. This is, I'm very impressed with
You
you.
got the order you like?
I got number 8 is all I got. And I'm extremely impressed with, the
Yes.
person.
I will get it.
Is there numbers on it?
Yes,
Okay.
top right.
No, I mean, it's under what?
Oh, one, I'm sorry.
What?
They say you're.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
the?
number one.
You're killing me. I'm seriously going, wait a minute.
Well, how come you got a number one too? What's going on?
Well, everybody got the same list and we're.
Oh, I thought this was all one.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Yeah.
All right.
So John, you're
Okay, I was
trying to
waiting
flash
to
the
trade
trade.
Too much cost management?
Yeah, I guess that. I'll tell you, it's been bad because, I'm going to an allergist and most of my medicine I can't take.
And number.
I'm so sorry.
7.
Yep.
And number 1.
Yeah, I got that.
5 and 7.
What about, we zipped out six?
Are we getting rid of 4?
Yes, yeah, we just,
Good.
Yes, that, we couldn't afford that.
so John, we're down to 1, 5, and 7.
We are.
And
6.
6, okay, yeah, no.
The only thing is like what Steve was saying, that's what concerned me. I like everything else but that.
That's what I was kind of, but we can discuss that.
Yeah,
when we get-
and
What was the amount?
Okay, tell me who we agreed, no.
So we've narrowed it down to 1, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3,
You can have that.
2, 3, 4,
and we can pass on that.
3, 4. You guys down? And 8.
6 and 7.
Yeah, 1,
Okay, I
5,
got
7.
it.
So, yeah, okay, I've got that.
And then you guys have got rid of number 2?
Yes, so it's 1, 5, 6, and 7. I think. Quality. It's a very, very bad practice. Nowadays. It has been 10 or 15 years. Yeah, because
So are you deliberating or?
We're just,
we're workshopping.
Okay. Okay.
It's a possibility for 10 or 15 years.
Look out for us.
Yeah.
make sure we're doing good.
That's why we want you here.
That's done this process.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right, so that,
Do you guys mind if I put up in stream there was a request for what was listed that we showed at the last meeting?
the chart.
The chart,
And the numbers
yes.
and the grade.
And these numbers have My numbers I assigned, these people don't match that chart.
They don't?
No, because I printed them all. I just numbered them as they come off the corner.
Oh, your numbers on your.
Yeah, we're
yeah,
talking
the
about,
numbers
yes,
don't match the
yes,
picture.
our 1 through 8 that we're discussing don't match that chart. No.
Okay,
I would, when we get into the process, I would like to see that chart
okay,
and be able to make that comparison when the time
I
comes.
can print this chart off.
I don't know if you could really translate our numbers to that chart.
No.
You
Well,
can't.
because that chart has, there's a key to it.
Yeah.
It says what
Oh,
those
you got
numbers
the
are.
kid. Got
Yeah, there's a key to that chart.
Yes,
And so we can compare our numbers to that key.
gotcha.
How much did number 6-1?
It's all very reasonable. I think this is actually a
You
good
have a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't here previously. This position was advertised. I don't know how this works. You're saying they're asking, there's an ask amount. Was it advertised with what?
No, it was not. It's just what they put on there that
We
they.
told them what the previous pay scale was, and it was up to them to say, here's what I'd like to have.
Yes.
So,
That doesn't mean we're gonna get it.
Most recruitments ask applicants their salary expectations. Because if they're up here,
There's no.
it's like Pawn Stars, you know, it's like never gonna work.
So do you know if we told them to give us
I do
5
watch
years
Pawn
of
Stars.
experience, 10 years, forever, you know what we advertised?
we didn't advertise the experience. We just said, previous experience. We said, here are the job skills, here's what we say.
Some got 3 years and some got,
None. Some got
yeah.
20, but not 20, but that's, yeah.
We said preferred skills. We just gave a list, preferred skills, and here was what we paid the previous. And so that was what we want and why you're good for this. I'll scratch that one. Quick votes.
Now, see, I'm not knowledgeable in office skills, so, the,
This is not fair. Very good. So do we have the key by chance?
I can.
You're gonna have to.
I can figure it out.
John can figure it out.
Well, yeah, you can kind of match it up.
Oh,
The dollar amount at the bottom.
the dollars. All
Yeah. I forgot that's where I got it.
right, so I'm assuming that number 1 or number 5. No, I'm just to the chart.
yeah, he was looking at a different chart.
Yeah. Like I said, my numbers don't match these.
So,
Yeah.
so tell me, it looks like you might be kind of close to correlating here. In fact, it does look like you
Are
correlate.
we talking about this up here or back there?
We'll talk about it back there.
If you did, was it an accident?
Yes. Yeah.
So it looks like the numbers correlate.
Because I just numbered them as they come off the printer. I guess they were in that, I didn't think about them being in that order in the file. Sorry.
The previous admin was
Yes.
OCD kind of, so I would assume he's stored them all.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, yes.
I like to, I don't want to have to read through all these. I like the statements and the answers.
Well, I know what is standing out to me. I just don't know if we're talking about it here or back there.
Back there.
Okay, so
We're
what
narrowing,
is it?
what my understanding is we're narrowing down
Yes.
half to 4, so.
Were you here, Julie, when we agreed to throw out certain ones? Okay.
So I don't think we get to talk about this, then we should probably move on.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
We've narrowed it down. Does everybody agree to
Yeah.
4?
Yeah, I think I have.
I think we can narrow it down even further. I'm actually.
Yes.
John,
I have 4.
Okay.
hand that to John so he can recycle those.
Recycle.
That's the recycle time?
That's the recycle.
Okay.
That makes sure
Oh,
that.
guys, we are on this. We're actually thinking a lot alike too.
Okay. So,
I'm keeping mine, I don't like it for people.
no, this is the recycle, the throwaways. You can keep
The
them
ones
all.
that, you know, we don't.
I'll pay attention to it. I'm making sure they get
So,
Okay, all right.
with that,
confidential with
All
them.
right.
do I have an adjournment for, the work session?
Is that it?
I make a motion, we adjourn the work session.
Second, third.
All those in favor say?
Aye.
All right.
My goodness, look at that, 8 o'clock.
Well, I
We're
think
30 minutes ahead.
next name, pro tem, you're supposed to ask me about it.
Oh, yeah. Any opposed? It was the dynamics. So, okay. So now we'll start the regular session. Call call roll. John Taylor.
Stephen King.
Julie Barber.
Scott Johnson.
Steve Marshall.
Stand in. The pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag honor, the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. Brooke, did we have anybody online with us fill out this?
No, sir.
Okay. So,
Nobody in person either?
No.
all right. So now we'll go to new business. Before we start new business, is you go a break or?
Nah, go ahead.
I just wanted to, if everybody would kind of give me a little leniency and address the council and,
Oh,
the
you
public.
want to make a public statement?
Yes, I'll make a public
Please, go
statement.
right ahead, John. That's okay with you, Joe.
And I'm gonna stand because my dad always told me you can't put your hat in. He said,
Open forum.
I, John Taylor, would like to apologize for last week because in my opinion, I got emotional. My body language was ugly and I was ugly publicly to, in my opinion, to Steve afterwards. So I just hope that to go with. I apologize for that and that's over last week. Last week, we're new, I won't forget about it. I don't want to talk about it. We were going forward today. And hope y'all will accept that as an apology.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. John, I appreciate that.
No apology required, but, thank you.
And also, I gave everybody one of these. I told them earlier, I bought these about 6 months ago because I was mad at the way our council meetings were going. We were not doing a good job and I bought them to be ugly and spot. And my heart would not let me give them to you. Thank goodness. Today I brought them, give them to you. So together we can read them and help each other be a better council moving forward.
Amen.
Good, thank you.
I want to agree with you there, John. We moved together as a council.
Yes.
And we stated that last week and whatever happens, we're a council.
Yes.
And we're all going to walk together. And I appreciate that, John. That was somewhat difficult. Big
So-
man.
First order item of business, discuss, consider, and act on a resolution issued in Texas accepting the resignation of Mayor Nolan Schumacher. Review and adopt a city council member to fill the remaining term. I should have been an A and B. So I do have Nolan's resignation here, so we do need to accept that.
And you need a motion for that.
Yes.
Right. I make a motion that we accept the resignation letter as stated.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Unanimous. Okay, so B, that is not listed there, but it kind of,
A sub B.
A sub B. So we need to appoint a council member.
Are we supposed to be letting people talk yet?
Oh, they opened that forum. I
Yeah,
think we already, there wasn't.
Oh, there was none?
That was
Okay.
No.
so we need to accept appointments for that, for mayor.
So I want to ask some questions from legal advice
Sure.
there, because we've gone through this resignation and appointment so many times with so many different people. So I asked earlier, and my understanding is that the state law doesn't require that we have any particular appointment that we can pick from the general public. but they would obviously be way more active.
Okay, so the question that you asked earlier, which I will share with council, is that you asked whether or not the local government code requires that you pick for purposes of appointing, whether or not it's required that you choose a member of the governing body. It is not. And there's nothing in the election code that requires that either to fill a vacancy.
And I couldn't find anything in, or do Fairview's code either, so.
But some folks, the electorate may think that if you appoint somebody, as opposed to somebody who was elected, that they have not been able to speak to the process. Now, I have seen appointments where somebody from the community is appointed. There usually is an application process. They will come and/or they come and present, and there's a determination made, but you've already announced or posted on the website for elections. And you may have a need right now to appoint. It's your determination what you want to do.
The second question is length of term. So this would be an appointed position. Does it have to be?
It's going to be for the remaining duration of the existing term.
So until next.
Till next year?
May
Yes.
of 2023.
So it's May of 2023.
Because the
That makes a difference.
odds in the mayor on odd year and the evens are on.
Okay, on the even.
I have a question.
No, evens in the mayor on even years and the odds are on.
Okay.
What's your question, sir?
I'm appointed, to my place on the council. Do I vote on deciding who the appointment is?
You're a member of the governing body and you've been duly appointed. You have all the right to vote on everything, all of the business that's in front of the governing body.
Including on that
Yes, sir.
appointment of
The only one that doesn't vote is the mayor, and the mayor's not here. So I would think that the mayor pro tem is, and now there's been some debate in legal circles, but the mayor pro tem is actually a sitting place member. And so I think you're entitled to vote representing the place that you're holding.
Gotcha.
Does that,
Even-
you didn't ask that question, but I'm answering it up front.
Even if the person we're voting on, does he vote as well, that
The
person?
no, the person's not allowed to vote for themselves.
Okay,
That
gotcha.
is one. That is one
Okay,
caveat.
so I asked you this question when we first started out, because it's not written here as, no, as it makes sense to me now, because it doesn't say we're going to appoint a mayor. It says we're going to appoint a mayor from the council. And then it doesn't say we're going to appoint, assuming that a council member was appointed to the mayor, it doesn't say we're going to appoint the open council.
You cannot tonight, based on the posting.
Why? Why
So
didn't
you
write
cannot
that way?
tonight, you asked a general question, so
We
you
could
can.
have if it had been written,
No,
right?
Steve, we still could not do the council.
Wait. So he's asking whether or not you could have appointed somebody who was a member of the community, had it been posted that way. And the answer is yes, but it was not posted that way. And,
I
Okay.
I knew it.
but
In my understanding here, Steve, you wanted to appoint somebody into the vacant council position.
Right.
Then
Right.
the mayor.
Yes.
Yeah, so we could have.
you
done that.
could have done that, yes. You're not precluded from doing that. You can still do that. You just can't do it tonight. Now, this is a special called meeting to trigger having a vacancy in the mayor's position.
I think that needs to be advertised.
And if you can discuss tonight, because it is posted appointment, you can discuss whether or not you want to appoint a sitting council member, or as opposed to
Wait for
appoint
the-
a member of the community. The only thing you can discuss that all night, or as long as you wish. What you cannot do is take action to appoint somebody other than a council member tonight, but you can take no action and decide that when you come back in your next meeting, you can direct, okay, we're not going to appoint a council member to fill the remaining term. We are instead going to seek applications from the community and interview at our next meeting. That's up to you.
I think we need to do
What do
that.
you guys want to do?
You lost me there, Scott. You think I'm going?
So, yeah, I got kind of lost in that too. So if we get an open council position due to seating the mayor, I think we need to
Okay,
take.
now let's back up. So you're talking about apples and oranges here.
Right.
So for right now, you're talking about somebody to be the
Well, no,
acting
I was
mayor.
just stating that I
Right.
prefer that it is written the way it is, because I don't want to appoint a city council place tonight.
Okay,
That's all I'm
so
saying.
if you don't want to appoint a council place tonight, you don't have to do that. So
Well,
I
we
just,
can't
I
because
want to be very clear, you can appoint a city council member to be acting mayor,
Well, no, yeah.
right? And then that leaves a vacancy in their position, and that is not on the agenda at
You
all.
wanted to fill that vacancy.
What I said,
Okay.
John.
But I
We
would
should.
suggest that, your election is right around the corner, 45 days out. I don't know that it's prudent. It's a very short window to appoint somebody to sit for that short a term.
Well,
And then we can put mayor on the ballot.
No.
No.
No, you would not be putting mayor on the ballot. You'd be putting the empty seat on the ballot.
And they're already on there.
And it's already been posted for that.
Go ahead.
John, Richard.
Yes, Richard.
Yeah, I just would like to say, I mean, especially with the election coming up, and I'm, just a citizen, I'd like to see, someone appointed mayor, especially because the deadline to file is Friday. So that way, if there is an open election, open seat in the council, then they will know, because all 5 seats in the council are on the ballot. So that way we will know.
Right.
Who's going to be the active mayor.
Okay, we need to take action
Yes.
tonight to open
Otherwise,
that.
action should be taken.
Yeah, okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Harvey.
I agree.
If tonight there's a no vote on appointing a city council member as a mayor, does that go back on the next meeting
And then we would have to decide.
with city council appointed as acting mayor or citizen? Or is that done?
Well, I think that's what we were just talking about, is that we're so close to the election, maybe prudent just not to fill that seat. If,
The city council seat.
The city council.
Exactly.
But-
We're gonna do the mayor tonight, yes.
Right, but
If you, but yes, if you took a no vote, then we would have to make some kind of changes for next meeting, our next scheduled meeting, which would be Monday, to open it, take
Right.
from the public or whatever, or do nothing.
if it's open to the public to run for mayor or be appointed as acting mayor, and nobody realizes who's running, can we go back and appoint one of the city council as the acting mayor, or is that a done deal?
Well, my
That's the way it's written.
understanding from the legal side was it would be prudent to pick somebody from the council and
But
not
it's not
somebody in
required.
general, but you can do either.
Yeah, we could take no vote tonight and then next week open it up to the public or council or anybody
Yeah,
that
you can
wanted to.
post it, you can
Yeah.
post it on your next meeting to make it a broader posting, that you could appoint either from the public or from the governing body, but you can then see, you can put it out to the public that you would entertain applications. That's up to you, that's your choice.
I like the way it's, written in the agenda.
Richard, yeah, one of
Yeah,
them.
I just, like I said, I like to see it done tonight. or
Yes.
whatever, Also, because like I said, the deadline to file for the election this Friday.
Right.
So,
Now-
this needs to be decided before.
Thank you, I agree. That we need to, continue on.
Go ahead.
I agree also, but it was brought up, and I just want to clarify, because I prefer that it would come from the council.
Right.
But how does it work if we don't? It's kind of the question, right?
Do what?
So, but how would it have worked if we didn't come up with a solution tonight?
So if you
That
don't
was
come
the
up,
question, basically.
yes, the,
Right.
the issue was if you don't come up with the solution tonight and you kick it off to the next meeting and the deadline to file the application. So you end up with,
Yes.
yes, you end up with 2 vacancies. You'll end up with a vacancy that you're filling, and then you'll end up with second vacancy that you're also appointing. You'll have 2 appointments and deprive the electorate, so. Or you'd be appointing one tonight, leaving the vacancy open, and somebody can always run to fill it, but you're only appointing to fill it for a very brief period because the election's right around the corner. And so that really doesn't benefit you or them. Does that
So
make sense?
somebody other than this group filed for city council, right?
Yes.
Place what?
I have one in place 2 and place 5.
Who's 2 and 5?
John is 5, Scott is 2.
Isn't there two candidates in
You were
five?
just 5, so we are having an election.
To in place.
Yeah. And there's just one who took my seat.
And one and all the others, yes.
And I haven't followed them, so.
So again, as it's written, then if we appoint a mayor, it has to come from the existing city council.
Yes, sir, that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Or we can do like we did last week and take no, vote.
You can always make a motion to table it,
So I'm gonna,
Or take no action,
or take no action.
either.
I don't mean this to sound self-serving or whatever. I've actually thought very hard about this. I would propose, and just gonna make a little speech, that if y'all care to, I would take the position if you wanted me to take it and then not run in the election, simply because I think, Steve, you have mentioned this before. I seem to come across a little better to all groups of people, than previous people that were here. But I'm just saying to you guys that I'm offering to say, hey, I don't know that I really want to run in an election, but I would be happy to continue to be a part of this council. I think we're moving in a very positive direction, and I would like to help that. And also too, y'all know me. I'm a little OCD. I kind of keep things moving in a direction, but anyway, campaign speech, I didn't want it to come out that way, but it did, so.
No, cool. We want to know what's on your mind and appreciate that. And with all due respect, I'd like to make a motion that that John Taylor be our mayor.
Second.
You said John Taylor.
Yes.
Yes.
You're willing to accept the
Yes.
position
Yes,
till May of 2023?
yes.
I've made a motion. Do I get a second?
I thought you said.
No, I can't.
Oh.
He asked for it.
I swear.
He can second.
Oh, I can second?
Yes, you can second.
Okay, I'll second.
Good, that shows you're willing to accept it.
Yes.
All right, so he's still gonna call for the vote, right? He's the mayor pro tem.
He can call for the vote, he just can't vote.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, he can't vote if he's the subject. It's not because he's,
But he can call.
right, he can call it, and he can vote as a, he can't vote, that's right, so can't vote, sorry.
We have a second.
Julie second.
All right,
All those in favor?
I'll go with it.
Unanimous. All those opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, I think.
And one abstention,
Huh?
and one abstention.
And, yes.
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 And remember, the part of the duty of the mayor is to move the meeting along.
Move the meeting along.
Run the meeting.
I hope I
Scott, no disrespect.
No.
I just, John's been doing an admirable job this week and he's really shown, that he's the leader we need
Yeah.
at this time.
None, Steve, taken. I was very hesitant to even make those statements, but I agree with you.
Okay,
It's a lot of work, and John has just willingly stepped forward.
yes,
And so with 2 minutes of contemplation, I'm on board with that question, because I
good.
don't know that I need to fill in that with all the other stuff I have going, but thank you. No disrespect, none whatsoever.
Good, thank you.
So we're gonna move on, because we want to go.
And there's another leadership opportunity to be.
Yes, oh yeah, so now we need to discuss and consider an act of resolution in New Fairview, Texas, to appoint a city council member to serve as mayor pro tem.
I forgot about that one.
I did have one question on that.
Yes, sir.
So, and I don't know the term on the pro tem. I read in most cities that's, there was a election within the council the month following the general election for a 1-year mayor pro tem. I didn't know if was that. I didn't want to. If we.
The mayor is actually an elected position.
Yes.
The mayor pro tem, I don't know what your general protocols are, but
We probably have
it's a
them in the city of New
procedural, it's a procedural vote. that-
Yeah.
Yes.
It's.
It's just the governing body, so
we decide.
Yeah, I think a lot of cities,
So it doesn't have a term.
yeah, a lot of cities, they vote the month after the general election, and like they do one every year, but that's,
I make a motion, Julie Berger for, Mayor Pro Tem.
We take, accept it.
Because when we have the election, we're gonna be getting, new Pro Tem then, anyway. So this, you be Mayor Pro Tem to the election.
Okay.
I second that motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
So four and one abstain.
Any opposed?
Yes. Sorry, guys, caught me off guard.
All right, C,
Congratulations.
Yes. receive, consider the act upon removing the prior city administrator Ben Nymer and former mayor Melvin Shoemaker as authorized signatures, designating the new mayor, pro tem, and possibly another council member to the signatures, city banking and investment accounts, adopting resolution to come. And I wrote that before I thought about we were gonna appoint a mayor today, so I guess I would have to give some,
Can we adopt that?
yes.
You can adopt it as written, you can,
Amended.
you can make it the mayor pro tem, you can make it the mayor because it says possibly another council member, the mayor's always a member of council. So you can pick anybody you want that's on the governing body.
Well, certainly.
Be signers.
Yes,
Yes.
So I think mayor needs to be in there.
And I was gonna say that kind of already had to do some of that, so we could make payroll last week, so.
Okay.
Because we had no way to make payroll last week.
So you want the mayor and anybody else?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, is that a motion?
So I
I'll
make
make
a
a
motion.
motion, I'll go ahead.
I make a motion that we designate the mayor and the mayor pro tem as authorized signers on the city's banking and investment accounts.
And
And adopt the resolution.
remove.
Accept the resolution.
And remove.
Oh, and remove, thank you, yeah, and remove Ben Nybarger and former mayor Nolan Shoemaker as authorized signers.
A second.
Thank you, Steve.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have, all those in favor say aye? Aye. Unanimous?
Who seconded that?
Julie.
Jimmy,
Is there any opposed?
any opposed?
And you're the mayor, so you can't say that.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Thank you.
You know what, folks, the only, and I told Julie this, the only
Well,
reason-
unless there's a tie, and then he has to.
the only reason that I think we need to, appoint a council member is because now, since we have a mayor, there's only four of us.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be hard to lose a quorum.
Well,
well,
he's the deciding vote in
But
a
you could
tie.
have a quorum, you might end up with ties,
I think that,
but then the mayor could vote in the event of a tie.
I think we've been through a lot. I think we need to continue as this core council
Okay.
until the election.
All right.
Okay, so we'll, at 8:23, I'd like to call recess to the executive session to discuss matters relating to real property pursuit to whatever Texas government code, deliberation, economic development negotiations, Texas code, personnel matters, Texas code review and determining city secretary applications for interview, Texas code to conduct with city attorney pursuant to Texas government code.
And I promise you, we won't be going to our.
Yes. What do we're gonna need to do something, I guess,
Will there be any action after the executive session?
yeah,
I think there's a part, isn't there? Not necessarily.
Not sure.
no, not sure.
We didn't post for any, but not sure.
And do we need someone, I guess you'll have to represent. So who's going to, so we'll have to have somebody take the minutes.
But minutes aren't, it's really a certified agenda as opposed to
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
It's your call if you wish the acting city secretary to be in. I've been places where they are.
No,
It's your call.
So let's just go with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minutes.
I just need the time. Okay. All right.
Do you guys, man?
You're not. Josh. Yes, sir.
I did for me.
Caffeine fix.
Do you want us to stay on? Because if there's action I can take, I'll just need to know who motioned it and who seconded it. And then, I don't usually, if you want me to stay, I'll stay. I just don't know how long they're in there. I'm pushing 50 hours.
Okay, so that's your call.
If you want me to stay, I'm fine. I can. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm the director of city service.
What time we come back?
Where is my note for next week? That was the last issue.
You can send us an email without your mayor, you can send us all emails.
That's okay, you can just go ahead
Okay.
and,
So we come back from executive
10
session
o'clock.
at exactly 10 o'clock. And we'll take no action on anything in executive session.
No, so I got, we're, next Monday, we're gonna talk about,
It's 221, right?
about the, increase in pay,
okay,
but we don't have to mention the amount, do we?
right, correct.
No, that's confidential.
Okay,
Okay,
And then we're gonna talk about events.
yes, events at City Hall, private events at City Hall.
That could be on a
The
work
best
session,
policy.
Okay.
work session for
Okay.
events. Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna take action, then,
We need to study more and learn more about it.
okay. And it's horrible that happened.
Okay.
okay. Yeah, please send me emails. Today's already Tuesday, so Wednesday, yeah. So I can get it back out to you on Thursday.
Recycle.
Yes, okay. We'll leave that.
Oh,
Any more agenda items?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Second, all those in favor say?
Aye.
All right. Thank you all.
Good meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We went about an hour longer than I was planning.
Are these ours?
Yes, those are yours.
Thank you.
Those are yours.
And feel free to take cookies with you on the way, or you can leave them for the employees, as you please.
Can I read the result?
I can approve the